basically down here in this Vim buffer, very convenient. And it is about, okay, stuff to study for the uni, which I certainly do have to do later. Yeah. Okay, some sources, some YouTube notes. I don't know if this is, like, this one is going to go there. I don't know. Depends on how much will I stutter or anything. Anyways, for now, English speaking, it's gonna be good, it's gonna be good. Okay. Anyways, I got also some forks to check out. Here, yeah, something about Android and Material U and Jetpack Compose and Monet colors. These design concepts that are kind of getting more and more spread, fortunately. Yeah. I wanna go and learn something about it. Also, like fiddling around with the Android system layers, which I know there are plenty. It's like a really complex environment, kind of comparable to dbus and the GNOME environment on top of Linux, because also Android is basically built on top of like a old version of the kernel, I guess, or might it be like a newer one? I don't know. Let's see, like Android. In Wikipedia, just quickly, because I know that I wanted to check this out in depth at some point. Okay, Linux kernel that. And on top of that we got native daemons and libraries, HAL, Android runtime, system services, and then this, okay, this last layer is called the Android framework. Android API, previous apps, system API, it's really complex. Yeah, and this one was really a very that lighting was kind of strange on this. Yeah. Yeah, this is the architecture diagram I was looking for. So you got the libraries, which are basically the same you'll find in any desktop Linux, libc, OpenGL, then the Android runtime, which is put like on this side here, application framework. That's on top of that. I think that, okay, some of these, yeah, like notification manager are the ones that you can kind of tweak around in the settings. Applications on top of that, it's the APKs that you can just install, like download any APK you want from the internet. Yeah, don't even bother, and install it, let it do its thing. Fortunately, there are these management frameworks things that make sure that these apps don't do too much damage to your stuff. I don't know, it's kind of lame. Like, personally, I would like just to have root permissions 100%. Might be some sort of security hassle, but like you'd really have to check out every source of every package. I don't know. It is very complex still, and in this thing that I wrote in my Fox to-do list, at some point I want to check that out. Then, GNOME, this is an extension, on this, okay. This one, I don't think I need it again, because it's, yeah, it was a CLI for Firefox Sync, Firefox Sync procedure. And there was this node package, it didn't work. I just downloaded it out of GitHub and it didn't work. There was another one written in Go that was neat. Used some sort of I don't know, like you could use GNU PG, the public keyring, and pass. I need to work with pass, I think. Now that I check, it's not tied to pass now, but right. Need to check out another bunch of things. So my forks is I've seen. Want to keep making lists of the setups that are currently running in my organization, and the thing that I like to do is writing these text files with this kind of lazy markup format, which is only comprised of tabs. I don't know if you can say comprised. Yes, you can say comprised of tabs and low letter characters. Like it's not uppercase. You don't want any type of uppercase letter or punctuation, that stuff. Like if you have to put a password on it, you can just paste it there. But like for things you write and look at, it's only about things you can type really easily. So it's numbers and letters, not even punctuation. If you gotta separate something, you either character return or tab it all one time in the right, and then so it kind of gets this tree-like structure, which is something I'm really in love with. It's a way to represent basically anything. So yeah, it's lists and trees and graphs and pretty much everything. All right. So after this thing that I need to complete, which is like an archive of everything that's in my room in this moment. At some point, I will also have to catalog all of that. I don't know. It's kind of scary. Okay, so it's far from finished, and I want to make it really in depth. The next entry is about my VPS. So at this moment, I'm paying a fee for this hosted VPS that's hosted by somebody else in the Netherlands, which I clearly never went. I want to change that. At some point, I want to have my own home server that's connected to the internet, and it hopefully will have some sort of public IP that I can link to my DNS record. And yeah, I already checked that it's not really hard to change the DNS route, the DNS value of the record. The only problem is to get this public IP. I think I want to do it in my hometown, not here, because I'm in rent in my university city. But to do that, I will first need to be ready with a configuration script that should contain some auto bootstrapping feature for the server to simply run as it's born, as it's being created. And yeah, after that, it should basically get the same state that my VPS has now, which basically is comprised of some really basic Nextcloud configuration, context, calendars, WebDAV, some RSS that I haven't really set up, OpenVPN that I tried, wanted to do something really stupid with it in order to circumvent the old SSL certificates on my iPhone 4S. Yeah, because at some point I was really hanging out with a iPhone 4S running iOS 6, which does have some really outdated SSL libraries in it. And the idea was to use my own VPS as a proxy to clean up the SSL headers and give me like some bare HTTP completely unsecure web pages as results. I never did that. Fortunately, I never continued with that mad idea. And then there's Firefox Sync. Here again, this one will be to like self-host some sync server. It's the same really that you can use in your Firefox install. It's just that yeah, I really want to self-host that also, because I would like to depend on the least number of services that I don't have much control on. So that should be one of those. Okay, so then Git bare repositories. So I got some private ones. Nothing going to tell you which those are. No, okay. I am going to tell you. It's like notes, config, and scripts. Like everything apart from scripts is kind of self-explanatorily some delicate type of directory. Scripts, I mean, they shouldn't be that delicate, but I just used to like hard code some passwords in that, so yeah, I should really clean those as well. Adding git like git t, I wanted to mimic like a sip of tea, like tea, TEA, the beverage. Okay, that should be some sort of front end like GitHub. It's a web interface for looking at your repositories and for having other people look at them as well. Certbot, the Docker Compose of my website, a Docker registry that's up and running finally. Email server, I used to, and I'm still kind of using the email widths wizard configuration from Luke Smith, much beloved, but it kind of broke, and I should really like go ahead and study how to set up a freaking email server myself. And SSH, so that's good. Alright, that's what I need to do for my VPS. Then I got like an entry for a for something I would like to learn how to play on the keyboard. That's in the yeah, that's only when I'm completely exhausted and like I shouldn't allow myself to do point instead of there are some more imminent things, stuff in things. Yes. Ah. And all right. My YouTube notes. These. Ah. Okay. My YouTube notes. These are for yeah, videos I want to upload on the main channel. Ah. Which basically at this point they're still my project for this sort of JavaScript web development course, introductory course in Italian. I'm thinking more and more that there are not really many channels on YouTube that do the same service that Fireship does. That is to explain web development with such a beautiful clarity and wit, and also that speedy pace. Like Fireship is just a master in that. So yeah. Oh, and computer scientist tier list. That one I would like to do some sort of, if not animation, that would take really too long. I'm not sure I would like do it any good. So I would like just to include some little drawings of these dudes, these admirable dudes and gals. There's also a bunch of gals, of course. Ada Lovelace in the foremost. And a video that here I just titled I wrote a better stove. It's kind of arrogant, I guess. I think I'll just call it a better stove, and that's for the configuration facility that I'm not anymore using. Like in the moment I'm actually using GNU Stove to symlink my proxy config directory to my .config real directory, which programs really read data off from. But oh shit, I'm not really happy with it because like if you happen to add some sort of GIMP, some sort of GIMP directory in your .config dir, this beautiful thing that GIMP does is just to save some programs that shouldn't really be in a Git directory. For example, you got some file that contains the last file you used. Like if you had to commit that thing every time, you will just create some confusion and some useless update for other people to just ignore. So you either put that into your git ignore, but it's not the point of GNU Stove. Like GNU Stove wants to have your git, your symlink farm, and symlink everything of it. The thing doesn't apply in the opposite. Now, I think I'm just trying to explain some sort of too difficult concept I haven't really pondered on too much. But the thing goes like this. Let me just take this. Alright. So you got your .config. And your, let's call it config because that's the way it is in my case. Okay, so you got the tilde right here, and it's these two directories. Oh shit, it's of course mirrored, but oh well. Should I write mirrored? don't think I can. Anyhow, your .config, or let's say your config, which is where you like put all your configuration files, your beloved ones, you work on them for so much, they evolve with you. It's beautiful. And you want to keep them safe there, so you got your .git, .git ignore, and let's say you got, for example, some I don't know, ZSH directory. I'm putting this slash in the end to say it's a directory. In it there is ZSHRC. Actually, ZSH never reads from a file that's only called ZSHRC. You have to do some sort of adjustments, as far as I know. It's ugly because here I got this .zshrc, which this one without the dot is symlinked to. So, yeah. What am I doing right now? Alright, you want with your stove to symlink all of your files that are in config to .config. So it does. But once in the config directory, for example, here we got also some GIMP, which has, what is this? GIMP RC, alright, easy. Should be like that. It's your I don't know what's R for, but it's your configuration file, and it's beautiful. It's got all your settings you would like to have all the time at the startup. But the real deal is when it is copied. So you got your GIMP directory here, which is like an ln to this. See, it's an ln to the directory, and it has a file within it, because of course the file is in the real directory. Let's not get too much involved with like the file tables of your file system here. This is all abstraction of what you can do with ln or with ln-s. Like the whole point of this is symbolic links, because you want to use this path and modify this file. And yeah, I mean, there's so much more to it. Maybe there are even options in GNU-Sto that allow to do the thing that I'm just going to say. It's just that I don't know. Maybe there's like a more elegant way to do it this with low-level system calls of Unix. I just don't know. But the thing that I really want for this whole situation here is that when GIMP, this mad little program, adds some files that which session.rc, let's say that this one changes every time, because GIMP wants it to change every time. So once you got this and the directory is symlinked, then it's automatically copied here, like it's written in this directory. And I don't want that, because in this way you're just cluttering your config directory, not your .config directory. Your .config directory can be some sort of dump with everything that your programs want to put inside of it. Alright, you can also have passkeys or stuff that people shouldn't look at. It's the whole point of stowing stuff from config to .config. And at some point I tried to solve this problem. I made myself a script that I think I called the... where did I put it? I should be this. I called it update, because the problem was that you had to do this every time the directory changes, because you're not linking directories, you're linking only the files. So the directories are just copied in structure. The files within, they are linked. So for whatever addition that you make to your .config, the config without the dot doesn't get affected, and it can be this beautiful Git directory, which you don't have to manage .git ignore for, which to my liking is not a really neat practice, because every time there's an update, you've got to manually update your .git config, and this can become really confusing. So this is like the outline of my idea on the video for I wrote a better stove, even though the version that I actually wrote is super slow, like it takes like 5 seconds to copy all your directories, and there should be like not many directories, a little number of them. It's just a really slow bash script that does a lot of piping and stuff, but it worked, and I think I really need to make it work again. Nice. So next, okay, this one is cool. I'm building this, which like doesn't look like much at this point. It just got this brand new MDF chassis that gives it a really nice structure first. Before it was like weirdly glued together and attached to just a piece of paper, really flimsy. I also removed all of the components from the breadboard. This one, in my dreams, will be a modular synthesizer. But a modular synthesizer that you can like tweak to the most minute changes. At this moment, it's not even a synth. It doesn't make any noise. I removed all of the oscillators. I first have to kind of study a bit how to make oscillators and do some tests. There are beautiful YouTube channels on the internet which talk about that sort of stuff. Moritz Klein is definitely the best. Like, if I recall, he made videos to teach from the basics of breadboarding and building like components for kicks and snares. Like, I just want like a sine wave and I want to apply filters in chain to it. My thing shouldn't be really difficult, but what it does is really cool. So this one was for the synth entry on my to-do list. Then, tomorrow there should be some, how'd you say this in a fiera? Is it called a fair? Yeah, it's called a fair. An exposition. So an exposition of like mainly batteries and stuff. It's not really my main interest, but I don't know. It's a cool place to go. I think I'll go with a friend. And later on, there should be some how do you say this? Some talk about the Glim programming language, something I didn't even know of before today, but it's really a cool concept. It's a functional programming language. It already has some cool toolings. It's built on top of Erlang, and I don't know, I was looking that up before. It's really nice. One of the core maintainers is going to talk at my university tomorrow, so I would really like to go and check that out. And then, yes, basically, this was my to-do list. Didn't really talk about like the actual exams that I have part, because I mean, yeah, there are not that many left, but still got to work that out a little bit better. I'm going to do this later today. And this sources, okay. Right. So I think I got some other bullet points here. I wanted to make some sort of animation library in TypeScript that uses SVGs. It got to a point, was good. The real thing was, I don't know, yeah, I wouldn't know how to export. I mean, the thing was, you could watch a preview of your animation in the browser window, and to render that as a MPEG video, you will just have to, I don't know, see that the lighting is really bad. This only makes it worse. Let's get back like this. Yeah. So if you wanted to render your animation, it was a matter of like saving from the browser every frame that was an SVG. Didn't use any sort of like built-in CSS SVG animations. It was just a frame by frame renderer. Then putting it all together, part of it should have been done with some sort of CLI tooling. FFmpeg did a fantastic job. So that was it. I really would like to extend that if it only could be extended, because it's already at this point nothing in particular. But it would be cool to like add to an animation engine, some sort of mechanical physics simulation engine, yeah, basically. Then Rust. At some point I really would like to learn it. All the cool kids these days are using it proficiently. And I would like to make some sort of tool that is basically a parser for this markup language that I described now. You feed it your TML, that's the way I would like to call it, which is tab markup language. It's kind of in conflict with Tom's markup language, which also uses TML, I guess, as an extension, although it's less seen. So at some point I called it VML. That was for Velocitus markup language. I really wanted to use the V because of the word Velocitus, which really gives the idea, and not for any other reason whatsoever. And then a Skinema renderer. Wow, this one should be really hard as well. There's already a code base in Rust, something in JavaScript as well, I guess, and yeah, it should render like as kinema dumps to MP4. Then in Lua, I would like to make a MDIM extension to extend the TML core thing, like to parse the TML in Vim, for example. If you're using this markup language with tabs and all, like there's the problem that if you do one tab too much, my current CLI tool just explodes and doesn't even tell you at which line you made the error. Like it just says, I cannot parse this. So an editor, a text editor facility for it could really come and get appreciated if somebody ever uses this thing.